Alright everybody, we're out and about again, and we are on our way to the yard because my uncle is down here, and we're going to try to fix the Mercedes today. So we're going to see exactly what that is. But we're going out there in my favorite car that I have, my 1996 Chevrolet Caprice Classic with the LT1350 Corvette motor in it. Now, I say it like that because every time I say it like that, everybody rolls their eyes, okay? And I think it's hilarious to say that it's got a Corvette motor in it. Is this a perfect car? Absolutely not. It's definitely not a perfect car. But it is good enough. And it's good enough to drive every day. Now the story on this car and why I have it is kind of interesting. And yesterday I made the video and we talked about the Suburban and everything, and the Suburban is essentially the reason why I have this car. So back in 2008, we were going through that gas crisis that we had, where gas was like $4 a gallon. And I was driving the Suburban, and I was working sort of kind of menial jobs at that time. They were decent jobs, and I enjoyed what I was doing. I was running the trains at Six Flags, and I was working at the trolley barn. And I was spending my weekends going out to Six Flags from Oak Cliff. Well, every time I would go out to Six Flags, it would cost me an arm and a leg because I'm driving around in a four-wheel drive tank, you know, getting 10, 12 miles to the gallon. So we go out there. So I'd go out there and everything. Well, one time I got a check from Six Flags. It was $118. I remember this. It was $118, and I got this check from Six Flags, and I put 115 gallons in, or $115 worth of fuel in the Suburban, and realized that I'd left me $3 out of my paycheck, and this just wasn't going to work. So I started looking for another car, and my uncle at the time called me, and he goes, "Hey, I hear you're looking for something that's going to save gas. What about a Caprice, like a big 96 Caprice?" I said, it's got a V8. And he goes, "Yeah, but it'll save gas over that tank you're driving." And I looked it up, it gets 24 miles a gallon, so I got to look at it. So he goes out with me, I get in it, stomp on it, just boom, takes off. And this car was 74,500 original miles. I mean, pristine on the inside. It's not now. It was pristine on the inside, pristine on the outside. The guy that had it before me took care of it. You know, it was a second owner of the car, and just he absolutely loved the thing. And it will go like the wind. And I'm not kidding. And when I get a chance here in a second, I'll show you what that means. But it was the right car. And for $3,500 in the middle of a gas crisis, it was the right car at the time. So I picked it up. And I've had it ever since. 3 weeks after I got it, took it to Colorado, went to the top of Pikes Peak. It has been to the top of Pikes Peak twice. It has been over 12,000 feet 5 times. I went to Colorado twice in this car and took it as high as I could more than once. And have just had a blast with this car over the years. And it's got some interesting features. It's got, cornering lamps. It's got quick ratio steering. You know, it's just a little bit of a turn and you're going to go left or right. You know, and the steering's tight. It's not loose hardly at all. Well, it might be a little loose, but anyway. So, but again, it'll go like the wind, and you can hear it. I love this car. I really do. Anyway, so it's got its issues. It's been through the ringer with me. It's got 206,000 miles on it. And it definitely needs some work. It needs some brake work, just the brake pads replaced. It needs the front suspension done. It needs a paint job. It needs the interior redone. It needs a ton of stuff. But it will still go. And it still goes pretty good. Now, none of the windows roll down right now, which is one of the problems I'm having. You can hear it rattling because the exhaust is loose thanks to the fact that the rubber from that is disintegrated over the years. You can hear the squeaking of the belts. You can probably hear the whine of the steering box because it's low on power steering fluid right now. But it's still a good car, and it still goes. and everything. So I enjoy the crap out of this car, and it's got some pretty neat technological things to it. One of the things that it has is that it has a reverse cooling system, and this has a heavy-duty cooling system on it. The reverse cooling system is really cool because what it does, it allows for a higher compression in the cylinders so that you can get more horsepower. So it's putting 260 horsepower out, which isn't a whole lot today, but in 1996 that was a lot for a car, and it'll still burn rubber. And so, but the reverse cooling system helps keep it cool pretty quickly. And then on top of that, it has the heavy-duty cooling system in this car because this is a B4U car. And what does that mean? Well, the B4U package was a package that was offered on the Caprice that gave you the 5.7 liter engine, that gave you a custom interior, that gave you wider tires, that gave you the cop brakes, that gave you the quick ratio steering. You know, all of that stuff came with that package. And that's what makes this car kind of special. This is a fully loaded Caprice Classic that needs a lot of work. So, it's a great car. It's a great car, and I probably will never part with this car. I might though, but I probably won't. So, you know, I've had a lot of fun in this car, and maybe it's time to let somebody else have fun with it. I don't know. But anyway, but we're on our way to the yard. We're getting ready to be there, so we're gonna go there and set up and try to help as much as I can, because I still having trouble breathing. So, which I may actually have like lung damage from COVID or whatever. But I'll try to give you guys a tour of the Caprice. It's not pretty. It's got crap in it. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, see you in a minute. That's a bust. Mom's cleaning out the Suburban while I sit in the Cadillac. Try to get it to idle because the battery was dead. 90 vans being the 90 van. 84 vans got stuff from parts from the pickup truck going in it because the Suburban's maybe sold. There's my uncle's truck over there, and then of course the Caprice sitting here. So we're having a great time doing car stuff today, trying to get stuff done. I think I've got the Suburban sold for maybe $1,500, but it was full of junk. I mean, it was full of junk. You guys saw the video yesterday, full of junk. So the Caprice is doing this thing. Cadillac, I think it'll idle. So, no, not yet. So the deal with the Cadillac is it's got a little bit of an issue with the carburetor. I think it's the choke. And so really what it is it has to do with warming up the car and getting the car up to running temperature, basically. And once the car's up to running temperature, it'll actually idle on its own. And once it's idling, the battery's good, the alternator's good. It'll keep, but it does have something that runs the battery down after about 2 weeks if you don't start it. So I'm just trying to get it up to a point where it'll idle on its own, and then I can walk away from it. I mean, it's got a full tank of gas and everything, but I don't know what we're doing about the Mercedes. So the discussion now has to be whether or not it's gonna be sold, which I think it should just be sold because we can't get the starter out. So it's gonna have to go to a mechanic, and the mechanic says $255 to fix the starter, and we've already got the starter. So if we do that, then I don't see any reason to sell it, but I could get more for it. But nobody's got the $255 right now to put it in the shop. So I could sell it now for $500, just cut my losses, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards. But Uncle Ken wants to see about getting it fixed, so I don't know. Anyway, let me get back to it and try to figure it out. There may be a video today of the Suburban leaving, so we'll see. I just realized since I have the van open, I'll show you the van. Alright, so this is the interior of the 84 van. This is the back. This piece of wood needs to be replaced. I'm just going to get a piece of plywood, real nice finished wood, and probably cut it at some point and put it up. This piece used to hang right here, and then there was a this end was over there, and right here there was an old TV that was really cool. So the TV's long been gone. Here's the interior. Headliner's good. Curtains are mostly there. This back seat's good. Those two brown seats, the backs on those gave out, so I turned them around so they lean against each other. And then I just did the same thing. The blue seats replaced the other two brown seats that broke. And then you have the door cards there. The sliding door doesn't open, but this is a favorite of mine, and it's not going anywhere. So anyway, back to the grind. Well, that's it. Suburban's on its way. So 20 years I've had that vehicle. Well, 20 years it's been in the family. My dreams of putting it back together and taking it out and doing stuff with it, but it's leaving. So that's it. Well, the Suburban's gone. Cadillac's in this place now. The Mercedes is back there. See the pickup truck here. Brown van's been moved. The gray van's there. My uncle and my mom. Mom's charging the gray van. My uncle's back there, kind of waiting. So I think I did too much today. Been coughing nonstop. The Mercedes may still go. The guy that bought the Suburban also bought the white van. He was interested in the Mercedes, so I don't know. So I'll give an update later when I get home because the battery's done. See you in a bit.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so this mod is actually reminiscent of one of the first mods ever.
Cat watches TV.
On BeamNG Drive, which was...
Okay, so I promised you guys an update about today, and this is your update. So I'm going to try to keep it to 10 minutes because the last one went 18 minutes long. So I'm going to try to condense it down. Anyway, still having trouble breathing. I think I pushed myself too hard today. I did a lot of moving cars around and a lot of climbing in and out of cars and jumping up on cars and climbing under cars and just back and forth and trying to do this and pulling batteries out of a car and putting it in this one and then pulling out of that one and putting it in that one, trying to keep, trying to get things started, and just have gone round and round and round, and I'm exhausted. I got up at like 11 and it's basically 11 now and I'm just exhausted. I have coughed my head off pretty much all day. Just leaving the house was a little rough. Finally got there. We worked on the Mercedes. Can't get the starter out. So I sent a message to the mechanic to see about how much it would cost for him to do it since we have the parts. It's like $255. I don't know that I want to spend the money to do it. My uncle wants to spend the money to do it, but I'm I'm at the point where I'm not entirely sure that I should or let anybody else spend the money to do it. But like it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm on the fence about it. So I can maybe get more money for it if I spend the money on it, but if I get it running again, I'm going to want to drive it. And the reason I'm going to want to drive it is because it's a little bit better than the Caprice is, and anyway, so I'm kind of on the fence about it. We'll see exactly what happens with it, but the Suburban sold today. It took a while to get that running. It was all gummed up because it's been sitting for 3 years with bad gas in it, with ethanol gas in it. So, but it was interesting. A little tap on the injectors. It's got throttle body fuel injection. A little tap on the injectors and it fired right up and ran. And so the alternator's not working. That's a new one because the alternator was working fine the last time that I drove the truck. So it showed up with some new problems, and but the guy that bought my white van. He's been impressed with both the cars that I've sold him so far. He was interested in the pickup truck, made an offer on the pickup truck. I don't think he's going to take it, which is fine. I'm not really interested in selling the pickup truck. I use it daily. But if I gave him a number, and if he's willing to meet me at that number, then it'll probably go. I got my eye on a 78 that's way more solid than the 73 that I have. Couldn't get the 84 van started. It's all gummed up with ethanol gas. The 90 van started like that. I mean, stuck a key in, cranked it, The Cadillac was dead. So we had to jump start it. It has ethanol gas in it too. It's got a little problem with the choke. It had it since I bought it. But the Cadillac may actually be a 24,000 mile original car. Sort of a barn find that kind of fell in my lap for real cheap. So we may end up just trying to get a bonded title for that. I'm going to see how much it's going to cost, because my understanding was it was $1,500 or $1,600 to do that. This guy does it all the time, and apparently it's like $400 or $500. So I'm gonna see what that means to try to get that done. But if it's like $400 or $500, then I'm probably gonna try to do that and just get the title for it. The let's see what else. So Mercedes, Suburban, Brown van, Caprice is running great. Pickup truck's running great. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna tell you a story about the Suburban, because for me, getting rid of cars is like getting rid of a friend. Or like rehoming a dog, that you love. I love all the cars that I drive, and every one of them gives me a different experience, and I enjoy the experience that each one of them gives, and I now will not ever be able to experience driving the Suburban ever again. Now I can get another one, but it's never going to ride like this one did. But I want to tell this story because I think it's a great story, and everything. And so, years ago, I was driving the Suburban on a regular basis. I was living in an apartment in Plano with a person that I was involved with at the time, and we were getting ready to move, and she'd had a bad day at work, and she wanted to air out some of her frustration, and so we would go to the cemetery where my dad's buried, and spend some time kind of hanging out there. Well, she didn't want to take the plates with us, so she wanted to go to the cemetery and break the plates on a tree that we had used before to get out a little bit of aggression. And so we get down there, and I didn't want to do it there, and I was afraid of attracting attention, and so I decided that there's a hill and like a creek bottom, and then a creek, and then you go down another hill and there was a creek, and then the creek bottom was down there. There was like a creek floodplain, basically. And this was the year where it had just constantly rained. It was like 2015, and it had constantly rained like every day almost. And it was in February, and I should have known better, and I didn't. I just didn't think about it. You go down the hill, and you're just looking down the hill, light shine on the grass, and it looked pristine down there. And I didn't think anything of it, so I cruised on down there, and as soon as we hit the floodplain of the creek area, the truck just sank to its axles in freaking black dirt that is the black lands that is this area of Texas. And I gunned it, like, oh shit, and I gunned it trying to make a U-turn, and I made like about a half of a U-turn, and we just sunk even more into the mud and just got stuck. And so we're out there like with these plates that we were going to break, covered in mud, head to toe, digging out ruts, trying to get this truck out of there, and we don't have money for a tow truck because I haven't been able to work recently, and so I hadn't been able to find work. I hadn't been able to work because it was raining so much, because I think by that time I was hired on at the sod company. And so, and everything, we're just out there just digging, trying to get out. And so finally I reluctantly put it in four-wheel drive because the four-wheel drive wasn't working 100%. And I managed to get it backed up and aimed back at the hill, and I'm just gunning it towards the hill. But every time I hit the hill, it would just sink into the mud. It would just stay right there. And it was like hitting a precipice, You just weren't going to climb it. So nobody nearby. They're all hours away. And except for two people that I've known for a while. And so I knew that they were still at work. It was about 9 o'clock, and I called them up, her and her husband. And I called her up, and I just said, hey, I need your help. And she goes, well, what with? And I said, well, I need you to get a shovel and meet me at the cemetery. And there's just dead silence on the phone. And then all of a sudden she goes, I am not going to help you bury a dead body. And I was like, what? No, why? No. And she goes, I'm not going to help you dig one up either. No, what kind of a person do you think I am? Well, 9 o'clock at night, it's dark, you're asking me to come to the cemetery with a shovel, and I just thought, oh yeah, that's a fair point. So, she said, I don't know, let's we'll come look and see what the problem is. I said, what? She goes, what did you do? And I said, I don't want to tell you, but you just need to come. And so, they show up, and we're down there, this girl and I, and we're digging with the plates. We're trying to dig ruts to go up this hill with these plates, and just can't get a hole big enough. And so all of a sudden, from the top of the hill, I hear cackling, and I turn around, and there's my friend standing there. And then her husband comes up, and he just starts laughing. And then their son comes up, and he just cackles. And they just can't believe what's going on. And the son, who loves cars, he's so worried about the Suburban. He's like, is it going to be okay? Are they going to be able to get it out? And of course, the husband looks at it and goes, no shovel's going to help you. There's no way. You're going to have to call a tow truck. Because we don't have money for a tow truck. So I didn't have money, but the girl I was with did. So she orders the tow truck, comes out, and he put together like 15 or 16 chains and straps all the way to my truck, and then pulled us out of the mud. And we had like cones of mud stuck to the wheels. We're like, here's the wheel, and then just this cone of mud that comes off. I took it over to a car wash and said no mudders, washed it off, and just left the mud there. And it was cool. It was fun. It was a funny story. So I still tell that story to my friends sometimes. And just hilarious. I'm not gonna help you bury a dead body. And I was like, no, like what? No, like I was completely innocent in my thought pattern about it. So, other than that, I mean, that's what's going on with the cars. As far as me, I pushed myself too hard today. I was in and out of cars, back and forth, blah blah blah, and I'm having trouble breathing now. So I've had my inhaler. I'm probably getting ready to do a breathing treatment before I go to bed and everything, trying to breathe better. I may have some damage in my lungs from the COVID. I don't know. But anyway, so that's kind of what happened today. I'm sad to see the truck go, for sure. I had a lot of good, fun adventures in that truck. And I was hoping I would get to have cool, fun adventures more. But who I sold it to is he's going to take good care of it, I think. And then, as far as everything else is concerned, truck's still in shop. I'm good for another month as far as bills are concerned. And I think I've got enough to pay for the truck to come out of the shop. But, man, things have just been, since like October, nothing's been going right. And it seems like every time I turn around, something goes wrong, something's breaking down, something's failing, I'm getting stuck with this load or that load or whatever. I got COVID and just on and on and on and on. And I took my mother was there, and I took her to go to the bathroom when we came back. And on the way back, this was after the Suburban was gone, and I started to cry a little bit. And she was just like, it's just a truck. And I said, it's not just the truck. I said, it's everything. I said, I had dreams as far as that truck was concerned. I just feel like they're shattering at this point because I've sold it. And I said, on top of that, I just said, I feel like I'm burning. And she goes, what, inside? And it's like, no, it's like an emotional or mental burn, at this point. And I got to thinking about it. And why would I say I feel like I'm burning? But it does feel like that with everything that's been going wrong. It's like one thing after another, and I'm trying to like figure out how to survive, how to deal with this situation, how to deal with that situation, just over and over again. And it just seems like one thing after another. And it was the last thing I needed was COVID, and I got COVID. And I'm just coming out of COVID, and I'm ready to probably go back to work. And boom, snowstorm is coming, and that's a big problem for everybody, but the convenient timing of it is just unfathomable to me. So, but the burning sensation is just like, I told her it was like a biblical burn. And I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anybody, but it feels like that. It feels like it's not in my control. It feels like it's like a cleansing of some sort, like a restructuring or a, what's the word I used earlier? It's like a reimagining or something like that. It's like a refinement, a refining of, who I am and what I'm trying to do in my life. And I don't know if it's trying to test my resolve. I don't know if it's trying to see what I'm willing to put up with. I don't know if it's trying to see what I'm willing to go through to accomplish my goals or what. But it feels like that. It does feel like that. And I do feel a little bit like the proverbial phoenix rising from the ashes. Almost. But I also don't feel like I'm done burning yet, which is unfortunate. So, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds at this point. I have things I want to try to accomplish, and I think it's all about how badly do I want to accomplish it at this point, and whether or not I'm willing to do the work to do it. So we'll see. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to take a breathing treatment. I'm going to watch some YouTube videos, and then I'm going to go to bed. And I'm going to get up in the morning. I've got errands to run. And when I get done with those errands, I'm going to come back here and watch it rain and drink some tea and just overall sit and chill and wait for the snow to start tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Yeah, so it's supposed to rain all day Tuesday, and then rain and sleet and snow late night Wednesday, and then it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow? I don't know. Anyway, but we're gonna basically sit out this snowstorm, let it go by, and then we're gonna figure it out from there. So that's it. I hope that you guys are all doing well in the new year, and that your new year is going well and very productive. So, and I'm hoping that mine will be soon too. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys tonight. I appreciate you tuning in and watching my videos. And as always, keep the shiny side up. I'll see you guys down the road.